What's up guys, how are you guys doing? In this video we're gonna be doing sword and X stuff, okay? I know I've been going for a while, I just came back from my vacation on Friday, like last week Friday, so yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah, I want to talk to you guys about this game because this game I've been loving it. It's a really fun game. Of course there's some issues, especially when it comes to like the pay to win side of things. It can be heavily pay to win game, okay? But outside of that, it's a really fun game, and yeah, I'm having a blast. So I've been playing this, on and off, and yeah, and I've spent a couple dollars in this because again, I am actually enjoying the game. Okay, so yeah, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about the base Berserk build you guys can do if you guys have the skills. Okay, so in my opinion, the base Berserk build, in my opinion, okay, so what I've been running right now is of course I'm at level 103, right? This is what I've been running. Okay, so this is the different skills I'm using in order to get the most out of my Berserk class. Okay, and this build, absolutely amazing build. Okay, of course you guys can do some adjustment here when it comes to the charms and the skills, but outside of that, this build specifically is what I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, it's an amazing build. Okay, the reason why this build is super effective and I'm having a blast with this game, and with this build with Berserk classes, of course, what I'm saying, you have a defense penetration skill right here, right? So starting the fight with reducing the defense of the enemies, and so you and your allies will be able to do more damage, right, to the enemy. So yeah, one of the base skill right here, Doom Blade. This is a Berserk exclusive class. Okay, so yeah, class skill, so just keep that in mind. Okay, and then this is one of the base AoE skill a duelist and Berserk class or a warrior class can have. Okay, this thing is absolutely broken. Okay, so what it does, it will hit a 6 grid attack right here, so it does physical damage 5 times to all enemies in a 3 times 2 grid area in front of the casters. Okay, and this thing, amazing, especially for wave clearing. It's absolutely broken. Okay, one of my favorite skill in the entire warrior class. Okay, and warrior like class, like warrior, like what I'm saying, evolved class and stuff like that. Okay, this thing is amazing. So it's called a Sensate Sword. I don't know how far you guys have it. Okay, I have it at legendary 3-star. If I am able to get extra puzzle piece of this thing, I can get to mythic, right? And yeah, definitely one of the best skill you guys can have here. And another skill is Shattering Sigil. This thing is absolutely broken because of this sigil effect right here. What the sigil does, it does attack one enemy with 1 grid of the caster, right? And it does fire damage once and inflict sigil. And what the sigil does is absolutely broken effect right here. Okay, what it does, increase damage taken by 60% for the next. Okay, so it says yeah, increase damage taken by 60% for the next technique hit. And this thing prioritizes the inflict target for enemy attack. This is amazing. So if you are able to put the sigil effect on the boss, your follow-up skill actually is able to attack the boss as well, because they have the sigil effect, and the sigil increases the chance of them getting hit again. Okay, so yeah, absolutely broken skill right here. The main use for this is to do a little bit of damage, but the main uses that to get that 60% increased damage. Okay, what this does, it will buff your next follow-up attack to do insane damage. And for my choice, I have the Eclipse Slash. This is another Berserk class exclusive skill, and this thing is absolutely broken single target damage dealing card. Okay, skill. So what it does is it will deal physical damage 6 times. Okay, this thing hits 6 freaking times. Okay, to one enemy within 1 grid of the caster. Prioritizes large targets. The fact that this thing also have the prioritize large target effect is amazing, because this actually prioritizes main bosses. Okay, instead of the mobs. Okay, in a lot of fights in Sword X stuff, there's a lot of mobs around the main boss, but if you have this prioritize large target effect, you are actually more likely to hit the boss instead of hitting somebody else. Okay, and wasting the damage potential on a random mob. Okay, so this is absolutely amazing skill. Okay, so the main play style is you do the face break right here, and since all of these skills have 1 cooldown, and this is important, okay, you are actually able to chain all 4 skills in one go. Okay, so you do the defense break and then follow it up with the AoE attack right here. Since this is also AoE skill, yeah, this AoE will do even more damage, right? And then you clear the wave, and then you apply the sigil on the main boss, and then you do a crazy amount of damage using the Eclipse Slash onto the boss. Okay, so that way you are able to do a burst damage right away. Okay, you can use this build in PvP as well. It's very effective. Okay, And a couple of things you guys can change when it comes to this. If this build is if you guys don't want to use the shattering sigil effect, you guys can actually go for the Azure's Grasp. This thing is similar to the sigil effect, but it's less effective. Okay, what this does is the caster next damaging technique deals doom damage with a damage boost. Okay, so this is a similar way of buffing the next attack skill. So this doom damage will be applied to the Eclipse Slash, because that's the move we're gonna use last before we end the turn, right? So you guys can do this, and what this doom damage does is shield break. So it does a shield break effect. What this shield break does is deals plus 100% damage to the enemy target's shield. So this is way more effective if you are fighting a lot of enemies that apply shield on themselves. Okay, so this is amazing, right? So you could definitely switch these two based on what kind of fight you guys are in. Okay, and then on top of the shield, the 100% increased damage against shielded enemies, you will also be doing deals plus 100% damage to enemy summons. Okay, so this is very effective for a fight where the enemies are applying shield on themselves, and also got a lot of like summons they are applying. Okay, or the main boss is like creating. If it's the main boss creating a bunch of summons, you are able to do a lot more damage here. And of course, this is also effective against PvP, because there's a class, right? I think it's Arcanist class or something, that's able to summon a bunch of like creations, right? So having this doom effect right here, right, it's going to be very effective against those things. Okay, you most likely going to be one-shotting the summons if you have this. Okay, so yeah, you're going to apply this to this card right here, and then the skill will do crazy amount of damage plus the doom damage, right? So yeah, amazing effect right here. Okay, another thing you guys can switch the Doom Blade with is, of course, you guys can also pick Leap Attack. This could be actually a lot more effective because there's a higher gap close on this. They both have gap close, but this one's faster, right, when you cast it, and you can start a fight pretty quickly with this. Okay, and what it does is pretty much similar to the Doom Blade, and what it does is the Leap Attack does is leap to any empty space within 3 grid of the caster, and dealing physical damage once to all enemies within 1 grid of the caster, with a 50% base chance to inflict armor break 2. So what this armor break 2 does is it will reduce the defense by 30%, right? And then when multiple level of the same status exist, only the highest level takes effect, and this thing applies for 2 turns, right? Compared to this one, very similar, right? So this is also very similar. What it does, it leaps to any empty space within 5 grid of the caster, dealing dark damage once to all enemies within 2 grid of the caster, and knocking them airborne with a 50% base chance to inflict armor break 2. So yeah, very similar, right? So yeah, they both similar skills, so you guys can change them like between, right? But I think I do like this one a lot more because it does a bigger area of effect. Plus you get the airborne effect on it as well, right? But they both have like 50% chance to apply the armor break effect right here. Okay, so yeah, that's a couple of things you guys can switch out in order to do other things. Okay, so this is a build, right? So you guys see the vision, right? This thing is absolutely broken, and this is by far my favorite Berserk class build. Okay, I don't know what kind of build I'm gonna run once I'm able to evolve into the Conqueror class, but I don't know when this thing is unlocking. Okay, we don't know anything about this, but guys, it might take some time before we are able to evolve into the Conqueror class. As you can see, I have everything I need, right? I'm the total level 100, right, when it comes to class level, and we are 23 level into Berserk, right? You only need like 19 on the Berserk class, and you need like 80 something for the overall like class level in order to unlock the ascension of the requirement for the Conqueror class, right? So we're gonna see what we're gonna run once I'm able to ascend there, but for now, by far, this is my favorite build, right? And as you can see, you guys can interchange between these two right here. Okay, so this is a couple things you guys can do. So right here, this is a similar build with a little bit with a bit of a different style, but they do the same thing, right? You have your armor break to open the fight with, so you and your allies can do damage, right? Extra damage, and then you guys AoE to clear the mobs, and then you apply the doom damage onto your Eclipse Slash skill, and then pretty much nuke with Eclipse Slash, right? Nuke the boss with Eclipse Slash to do the most damage, right? This is also another skill you guys can use, right? The heavy impact, it does a lot of damage, but the problem with this is it's not a multi-hit skill. That's the first thing, and plus it's a 2-turn cooldown, okay? This thing is 1-turn cooldown. This is absolutely broken, right? All of these skills are 1-turn cooldown skills that do insane amount of damage, right? So yeah, for me, of course, like I said, we're gonna be running this with the sigil, right? The sigil is absolutely broken, right? Very, very effective, right? The doom effect right here, the doom damage effect, is very kind of specific to, like, you know, shielding enemies and stuff. Okay, now let's talk about our charms. Okay, as you can see, I got, you know, a couple charms that help me do even more damage, right? Since both my AoE skill and my single like multi-hit skills right here, okay, since they both hit multiple times, right? This AoE skill hits 5 times, and this one hits 6 times, right? Since they are multi-hit target, this is actually one of the best charm you guys can use on it. Okay, so what this does is the Blade Tempest. Okay, this is your warrior class skill. Everyone should have this. Okay, what this does is each time the caster's technique deal damage to an enemy, there is a 40% chance to trigger Sword Gale without this additional wind damage once, right? This is amazing effect. Because since we are using multiple skills that have multi-hits effect on them, you are actually are most likely to trigger this effect as well. So right, why not do extra damage using this as well, right? So every time we hit with our Eclipse Slash or with Sensei Sword, we are actually doing even more wind damage right here as well, because we have a 40% chance to trigger a wind attack. Okay, so yeah, this is, you know, adding even more damage onto our skills, right? And then another additional damage source we added is, of course, Blade of Judgment. This is very similar to this right here, the Blade Tempest, but instead of doing wind damage, you are actually going to be doing physical damage, right? Extra physical damage, right? So what this does, each time the caster techniques deal damage to an enemy, inflict 1 stack of mark on them. When mark stacks to 10, deal physical damage once to the target, right? So yeah, this is another source of extra damage as well. So yeah, we're just adding even more damage to our Sensei Sword and also Eclipse Slash skill. Okay, again, if you guys want to switch the build up, and you don't want to use, you know, multi-hit like, you know, AoE skill for PvP, you guys can actually also put this skill on here as well. So this is going to be one you know, amazing build you guys can do for PvP, okay, specifically, right? But for PvE, definitely, man, having that AoE effect right here is amazing. Of course, this skill is amazing as well, right? The Hunter's Judgment, it will let you you know, pull targets closer to you, so you could hit them with a, you know, the AoE attack. I have a build that works with that, right? So it's a similar build, right? We pull in the targets, we do the armor break on them, and then we do the AoE crazy attack right here, and then we could do the extra damage on the boss right here. Okay, so that's one build you guys can run for PvP if you guys want like full like AoE, like easier AoE you know, damaging opportunities, right? So yeah, this is one build you guys can run, but this is my main build, right? So as you can see, every time we hit with this, we are proccing this, and we are also proccing the Blade of Judgment skill, right? Now Indomitable Will, this is a must-have for any warrior class, in my opinion, unless you are absolutely broken. My bad, buddy, I am making a video, okay? Okay, so this is a must-have for any warrior, duelist, or berserk class. Okay, this thing is absolutely broken. Okay, so I always make sure to leave a spot for this, so you know, I can keep them on my characters, right? So what this does is, it will upon taking lethal damage for the first time, survives with 1 HP, enters the indomitable state for 2 turns, cannot be dispelled, which is absolutely amazing, and heals the caster once, right? So yeah, you get the, you know, 1 turn immortality plus a heal. Okay, because what this indomitable does is it will reduce the damage taken by 90%, right? So this is, you know, if you are doing, you know, difficult content, this is a must-have, okay, because this will let you you know, survive heat, you know, killing heat, right, and actually clutch and, you know, win a fight, okay, win like harder fight. Okay, this is amazing skill, and it's a must-have in my opinion. So, you know, I don't see any substitute for this in my opinion. Okay, this thing is amazing, right? So yeah, this is a must-have, okay. But the other skill I'm using is, of course, we got the Insightful Eye that also increases our crit rate by 20%, and we have extra 1.4k crit rate, right? So yeah, this is amazing just to do extra damage right here. Okay, of course, ideally, right, ideally you would want something like let me show you guys. Yeah, this skill right here, right? This skill is amazing, right? Blazing Clash. What this does is increase the caster damage dealt for every 4 technique used, stack up to 3 times. Okay, but this is more effective with 0 cooldown skills. Okay, so if you have a build like this, right? So with like 0 cooldown skills, right? So as you can see, 0 cooldown, right? 0 cooldown, right? 0 cooldown. If you guys have a build like this, then this is a messed up, right? Because you are easily gonna be able to proc this thing right here, okay? But since the skill we are using here all have 1/3 cooldown, it's not gonna be super effective. But to do damage, yeah, this is very good right here. Another amazing damaging skill, charm you guys can use is of course this one right here, right? Increase the caster attack by 10.9k amount right here, which is massive. So this is also another really good one, right? So any warrior duelist berserk class require a lot of attack, right, and a lot of speed, right? So yeah, this is very good as well, right? If you guys can substitute the crit rate for any other damaging source. Okay, another one is of course let me show you guys. Yeah, this one is also really good, right? Because whenever you get hit, you have a 50% chance to counter attack with and deal physical damage, right? So this is really good as well, but it's not super effective with a build like this, in my opinion, because this is more of like a bursty build. Okay, next up, another amazing skill you guys can sub out is of course this right here, right? Heals the caster once each time the caster's technique deal critical damage to an enemy. This is absolutely broken. Okay, so you guys can absolutely use this if you have high crit rate, right? For me personally, I don't have high crit rate, unfortunately. I only have 33% crit rate, so we don't crit often, right? That's why I'm not using that skill. But in my opinion, this is one of the best charms you guys can get. Okay, this is of course a berserk class exclusive right here. Okay, blade siphon, amazing effect right here to give you more survivability. Okay, but for at this point, right, where I am right now, the crit rate is super effective. Of course, again, you could do the crit damage one as well, right, because it does give you a 24% crit damage boost plus 2.49k extra crit damage as well, right? So this is also good, but in order to get most use out of this, you have to crit, right? So you need a crit, right? So again, the crit is probably the best one in slot here if you guys are running a build like mine. Okay, but if you guys have high crit rate, I think this is definitely one of the best ones you guys can pick up. Okay, because yeah, it will just give you more survivability, right? Plus the endowment will, and yeah, you're gonna be tanky plus dishing out insane damage, right? So I think in my opinion, this is the best build for berserk class. Okay, no question asked, in my opinion. Okay, it's so effective, man. You could do any content with this build. Okay, as you can see right now, I am at like 1.45 million power, which is very good. I just unlocked hard mode on the dungeon, so we're gonna be doing hard mode tomorrow, and hopefully I'm able to get more of these mythic gear, gears, or the divine tier gears. Okay, hopefully I get drops of those things, because those things are very powerful, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this build. Another one is of course you got a skill called Gale Dance. It's not super effective in my opinion. This is cool for like more like a team game, okay, because it will increase movement by 2 grid and speed by a percentage of the caster speed for all allies character within 3 grid of the caster for 2 turns. This effect is unique, casts once before battle starts. This is very good, right? If you are playing, if you want to be more of like a support DPS character, like a berserk class, yeah, you could do this, because giving your entire squad a speed boost is really good, because more speed meaning you have more chances to go right multiple times in the turn, right? So yeah, again, right, having more speed is really good. Okay, but we're playing full damage berserk, so yeah, again, right, this is in my opinion the best build. Okay, let me know what you guys think about this build, and yeah, of course, let me know what kind of build you guys are also running on your berserk class character. Okay, in the future, right, in this game, berserk and like duelist and all that, they're gonna get massive power up. Okay, so I think berserk like class, like the whole warrior class in general, right, like the duelist class plus the berserk and all the way up, they're probably the best class in the game. Okay, don't even game is stuck. Okay, because if you guys see what the other like CN server is doing with the duelist, it's insane, man. Yeah, in the future, duelist is probably gonna be top tier class in my opinion. Okay, but yeah, that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about this, and of course let me know how far you guys are in Sword and X stuff. Okay, I know Chaos Zero Nightmare is gonna be showcasing Tenebria tonight, so we're gonna be doing a video on that as well. But yeah, I figured I'd just do a quick video on Sword X stuff, okay, because this game is freaking amazing. Okay, but yeah, see you guys on the next video, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe.